Welcome to Books to Boardrooms with Dr. Kiran. Today I have Anishkaa Gehani. She is the founder and CEO at Yardstick Marketing. Anishka, thanks a lot for your time. As you know, that this channel is basically created to help students and budding entrepreneurs to understand how people successfully run their entrepreneurial venture. So it becomes like a case study for them to follow that. So before I start getting into entrepreneurship, I like to get a little background about yourself as well as a background about Yardstick Marketing.
Great. So good afternoon, Dr. Kiran. It's a pleasure being on this show. I have watched a lot of your work and I think it's fabulous. So congratulations on that. A little bit background about me. I am raised in Dubai. I'm second generation here. And I started Yardstick Marketing 10 years ago. But prior to that, I was with an agency for about 9 years. And that's where I realized there's a lot of gaps that I would like to address, or the different kind of things that we used to do at the agency. I had different ideas about how I would like to do things, and that's how Yardstick Marketing was born, out of a lot of passion for the marketing industry.
So when you say Yardstick Marketing, a lot of passion you want to start. What are the various services Yardstick Marketing is offering to the market?
So we are an integrated marketing consultancy. We are essentially into 360 degrees marketing. Our core has always been media communications and content creation. Now, when we talk about media communication, we specialize in public relations, digital marketing, influencer marketing, and social media.
I think I'll get into the details a little.
Please do.
Before that, I just want to know your entrepreneurial journey. So you said you've been working 9 years in the marketing and PR function.
So overall, it's 18 and a half, almost 19 years now.
Okay,
yes.
So no, but before that, before you starting this venture, you've been working
about
around
9 years.
Yes.
Yes.
So at what junction you felt that no, I want to start something of myself?
I think after my kids were born. Okay. So my second daughter was just born, and I said, oh, I need the flexibility. I would not like to stick to a 9-to-5 job, and I would like to do things differently. And that's where I decided now is a good time.
And why you chose PR as an area for you to start? Or was there any multiple business ideas in your mind, then you evaluated and then you came, now this is what I'm going to, or it was very clear that I want to start in this way?
It's where my heart is. It's exactly what I love doing, and it is extremely effortless. PR is a lot to do about intangible. It's about earned media, not paid media. And if it's paid media, somewhere it's easier to execute. I enjoyed the challenge, and I think PR is such a big part in any organization's brand building journey. And that's essentially where we came in, and it was purely out of the interest and passion.
So if you look at it, there are a lot of PR agents in UAE. Yes. And there are not only UAE have a unique proposition where multinationals have their global PR companies, right? So you're competing, or you see there are two types of international PR companies, local PR companies. So what sort of gap you saw that, okay, fine, still there is a gap in the market, and that's where I want to start my agency to fill that particular. So can you tell me what sort of gaps you saw in the market where Yardstick Marketing is pioneering in now?
International PR agencies essentially come with a lot of global mandates, and of course with bigger organizations. The gap that I saw in the market at that time in 2012 was the fact that there weren't any or many agencies speaking to the SME market, speaking to the actual local businesses, and understanding how local businesses function, because it's very important for an agency today or in any time to be very close to their target audience in order to understand consumer behavior. So this is essentially the sort of gaps I saw. Also, I realized that with bigger agencies, they don't tend to give a lot of attention and focus to a client. Of course, there are the certain number of hours you need to do, but there's no personal touch. There's no relationship building. And this is where, I think this is exactly where our strength lies, where we have a very personal relationship with a lot of our clients today, because we are helping them through their business journey, through marketing. And I think this is exactly where we differentiate from the other players in the market.
See, when it comes to PR,
Sure.
as you told, paid media, it's definitely, everybody knows paid media. You don't need to be a
Yes.
marketer to know that, it's a no-brainer that you want to sell a product or service. But when it comes to creating, communicating a brand story, or customer engagement, or brand identity or branding, and that's where PR comes into the picture. A lot of people really don't understand that difference about a PR versus marketing, or PR versus advertising. So can you just throw a little more detail on what exactly you offer for your clients, and why should somebody come to you?
Sure. It's a lot to do about positioning, Doctor. I think it's so important to understand a brand ethos and come up with a story which essentially connects with their target audience. And once you're able to narrate that, and you're able to narrate that for a client, where you're able to, kind of conceive that entire story plot, you're able to then communicate that effectively with the media, pitch it to them, and it becomes earned coverage. Now, what happens is there's a very big difference in earned media and paid media, purely for the reason that a reader today understands very clearly if he's reading an advertisement or if he's actually reading a third-party article, which is an opinion of an editor, and that, in terms of credibility, is exponential. Now, what we say is, in our industry, it's a lot about intangibles, it's about perception building, and this is where PR comes in.
I think what you told about credibility, I think the believability of people
Yes.
in a news or an editor's opinion or a third party's opinion is much more believable
Yeah.
than you see an ad, because everyone is going to say that my product is the best and stuff like that.
Absolutely.
So they like to get a third party opinion, and that's where your agency or the PR agencies basically come into the play.
Absolutely.
So you said it's an earned media, and it's so difficult to earn. As you told, paid it's pretty go and pay money, and anyone will advertise for you. So who are basically your key partners which you work with? I mean, for customers, definitely yes, but to make the customers work effective, you have a lot of stakeholders, right? I mean, so can you just throw who are the key partners you work with?
So the media landscape has been evolving quite significantly in the last decade or so. We work with a lot of media partners, obviously, but then we've seen a lot of rise in influencers as well. And the whole objective of any sort of PR campaign is to ensure maximum people know about it. And how do you get that message out? It is essentially through media. So we work with all sorts of media, and today even blogs and bloggers, and even people who are on YouTube and podcasters. And this is essentially which adds so much of the whole objective is to reach far and wide, and through our media and our influencers, we are able to get the message out.
So when you talk about influencers, 10, 15 years back when we were studying or teaching PR, it was most to do with an article coming in a newspaper or a magazine, or a product review coming in a specific journal, or or something in the radio, right? Now, as you told, influencers plays a very important, and there are two types of influencers. Basically, we call it a micro celebrity, which is a local influencer, and there are big celebrities who are like movie stars and
Macro.
sports. Yeah.
Yes.
So, do you deal with both of them, or is it how you see the difference, or how you feel the impact of these influencers in creating a brand?
I think it's so important for brands today to identify who the real influencers are. And we also work, just to add to that, we also work a lot with nano influencers. These are really small influencers who may be fantastic at what they do, but don't really go up there on social media and talk about themselves. How do you identify this audience? This is where we come in, because they are the real influencers, but they may not really know how to promote themselves on social media. When I talk about this particular topic, it's so important today for B2B industries or B2B companies to understand who their real influencers are. And this is where we would come in, do a complete sort of audit on what their target audience is and who exactly they're trying to reach. So to answer that question in short, nano, micro and macro, we work with all three sort of segments, and we think there's advantages for all of them.
So you have a team, you said. So one is the influencers, one is the media,
Yes.
whichever format of media.
Yes.
Then you have a set of, I mean, how can you give a little line what your teams, I mean the team your organization is having, and what sort of roles people play in your team?
So content writers are a big part of our team. The way the team's divided is we have content writers and we have client servicing managers, and then we have our media relations managers. So this is how the team is structured. We also have a big team in India, and that is where a lot of our digital and back-end work also is outsourced to.
And how you reach your customers, like you are doing a lot of PR for your other customers, so how you create your brand image or how you gain customers?
To be very honest, a lot of it has been organic. We've done some phenomenal work, and our clients have become our biggest referral partners. Media has become our referral partners purely because they see this sort of passion, sincerity, strategy that we put towards every account that we get as an agency. In addition, networking has been a really big part of our success, and this is where I would say it continues to grow.
I think marketing is all about networking, and
Yes.
as you told. See, one of the other question is like, I have seen some of the PR agents, they are very focused on a category. So if I may ask you, like that's a product offering from your side or a service offering, do you cater to any specific industry because you are very good in that, or are you into multiple categories of product, like people from retail or FMCG, from manufacturing, from energy sector? So what is your client base and how you choose those clients?
I think we are a generic agency. We do cater to all sorts of clients, but currently our focus has been the BFSI sector and the construction sector and the startup sector. Okay. So these are the three key areas that we are focusing on as we move along. But yes, we are a general agency, and then we work on a lot of different kind of projects as well.
And do you see any shift in terms of print media to a digital medium for PR activities itself?
Absolutely.
And which is more believable or convincing or reachable to the customer? What do you think about that?
Digital for sure today,
Okay.
Purely because you're able to see the numbers. With print is excellent. There's still our audience who would like to pick up a newspaper in the morning and read it. But then in terms of the sort of ROI, digital is able to endorse that sort of ROI. So this is, I would certainly say digital is growing.
And being an entrepreneur,
Yeah.
Of course there are challenges, right? It's not going to be an easy journey.
Mm-hmm.
So when you started, you must have some certain vision, like you are 10 years right now.
Mm-hmm.
So, or certain offering which you, so did you evolve over the 10 years, or what you started still remains your core even now?
So we started as a PR agency, and we are yet a PR agency. But having said that, our industry is evolving at a very rapid pace. So back in the day where we used to communicate only through our media, today it's also social media, and it's also digital media, and it's also digital marketing. So yes, the evolution has happened, and that is what has enabled us to stay relevant in the game, and that's something that we have to keep doing as an agency, keep evolving.
So you said you have content writers, right? So
Yes.
content writers are basically, it's more like a one-way communication in one side, where you listen to the client, know their story and vision, and then communicate.
Sure.
But today, being in social media gives customers an opportunity to express their views.
Yeah.
Now that can be positive, that can be negative. Does a PR agent play any role in these type of negative campaigns, and is it that you play a very key role in changing the image if somebody has said something really bad about the organization? So how you handle negative publicity?
To be very honest, we have a complete mandate on crisis communication and ensuring that we train our media spokespeople before they go up on air or for any particular interview. And I think media training is so important. It's easier to prepare than do damage control later. And honestly, we do respect media views, but so far I think we place more emphasis on media training. And we also have a complete mandate on crisis communication, because if there is a crisis, then there is a complete different protocol we follow.
So how you, so you have specific people doing that. So how
Yes.
you have specific team managing with negative publicity or
Absolutely.
crisis management.
Yes.
Now you are based in Dubai.
We're based in Dubai.
So if I may ask about your target market, so are you only targeting a UAE as a market, or can you just give a little idea about and international clients contact you, I mean, if the customer, see, a lot of organizations here have branches in maybe GCC countries. So, do you manage? Do you have visibility or connectivity in that market, or you are purely a UAE-based organization?
So we are a Dubai-based agency, but from the Dubai office, we cater to the GCC region to start with. We fly out for any campaigns. So we've done a lot of work in Saudi Arabia, we've done a lot of work in Kuwait and Qatar. And just recently this year, we've also entered the Indian market.
Okay. With the same set of products and services.
The same set of products and services.
So how you find the difference of doing business in UAE versus doing business in some other parts of the world, maybe like India?
To be very honest, I think they all have been home markets because I myself originally am Indian, understand a lot of how India works. And when you talk about Dubai and UAE, this is where again home is. And if I look at the other countries, there's a lot of similarities. And of course, we always ensure we have on-ground support.
Basically, all these things what you do as sort of Indian market or UAE market or any market is all for the customers, and the same people are here or they are from different parts, etc. How much importance you give to the customer or their behavior when you write the press release or when you do an activity? So what sort of, because most of the agencies which I've seen, when they come and talk to you to give a PR, they only talk about your product or the company, and they hardly ask who is the customer or anything like that, because they really don't know. They just publish it, and maybe the customer will read it or not read it or anything like that. But how much importance you give that about the target customer, and how does it change the language you use or the way you communicate or the medium you choose for communicating?
It's so important to understand the client that we work with, right? And this is essentially a very big part of our discovery session. So as soon as we onboard a client, we have a complete discovery session. Unfortunately, doctor, there are trade media who talk to our target audiences for our clients as well. So we, at the start of the campaign itself, highlight who exactly we are going to be speaking to in our PR campaign, which trade media, which media. So we essentially do a very big research at the start of any campaign. So this is essentially where we focus a lot of energies on, and then enable our clients to reach the target audience.
I think that's one of the key, right? Because you're writing for the audience, so then you need to keep them in mind for sure.
Absolutely.
A little bit again going back to your starting stage. How was your cost structure initially? Like, what are the various costs you have to take care when you were starting your own entrepreneurial venture in PR? So,
you mean to say what kind of costs we need to bear in mind? I think it's a lot to do about the skill set more than the cost. I think as an agency owner, I believe it's so important to make the right hires. It's so, because we are in a people's business. We need to hire the right people with the right skill set, and that essentially saves a lot of costs as well. The minute you do not hire someone with the same background, that's where the issues come in.
And if anyone in this market would like to reach you, so how can they reach you? Like, okay, fine, if you want to work with someone like you, do you have a website?
Yes,
do you have...
absolutely. Our website is www.yardstick-marketing.com, and they can reach us through our landlines and our office in Dubai.
So, being an entrepreneur, sitting here today, 9 years worked, almost 10 years having own venture.
In business, yes.
How you feel that is it the right decision you made? Did you feel that it's too much of challenge, I shouldn't have ventured into it? So what is your thought process right now?
I think it's the best decision I've made. There's no looking back. I only look ahead, and I think it is the decision I made for the long term. I think every single day is fun. Every single day brings different challenges and ensures it pushes me personally out of my comfort zone. And I've embraced all my fears in the last 10 years. So yes, the decision has been wonderful.
So you had a wonderful journey.
I've had a wonderful journey.
All the audience, most of the people who are watching this, so who will be watching will be either students or even people who are right now working.
Sure.
They're thinking about starting their own venture. So what will be a single advice or whatever advice you would like to give them, which will motivate them to start by themselves, because it's always about standing in your own something. So what will be your advice to them?
I think know what you do. It's so important. It's just make sure you study the subject. It's so important to understand what we do, and never leave that, never leave the studying part of it. We as even today, I keep taking different courses. So lifelong learning is so important. And second is have passion for whatever you do, because there are days where you just question what you do, why you do it, but it's the passion which essentially drives somebody to keep going. And third is be positive and resilient. So important. Resilience is so important. I think in today's generation, this is something we need to tell everyone. Be resistant. It's fine if it's a no, but it's important to even accept a no.
I think I'll take 3 points what we told, lifelong learning. I think in any profession that is very important. I think if you don't want, if you are not going to grow unless because things are evolving, and you being in the marketing space, what you learned 15 years back is not what you see today, and now it's changing in a yearly basis. There's a lot of disruptions happening in that field. I interviewed one of the marketing manager, one of the bank, and I asked her that what it takes to be a great brand manager, and she also told passion. So if you really don't have that passion, there's no way that you will enjoy what you're doing. And the last point of resilience, as well as I think that's again a key that because you'll be having challenging times, especially starting off your business. You'll have to question yourself that is that the right decision? Monthly salary coming on time, did I do a right decision? But the persistence and waiting and taking things positive, I think it's positivity what you talk about. I think that's going to be the key, taking it forward. Thanks for emphasizing these things. Of course, when we teach entrepreneurship, we say these are the things, but when they hear it from people, ordinary people who worked, set up their own business and been successful, and confidently say that, okay, fine, I am successful, please come in, and we offer a certain level of product and service, and we are ready to compete internationally. I think that takes a lot of courage, and I wish you all the very best for your venture. And I hope the students really learned quite a lot about entrepreneurship and your entrepreneurial journey and how to make a business successful. Thanks a lot, Anishkaa.
Thank you so much for having me, Doctor. Thank you.